I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Eric Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. I'd like to welcome FateMagnet to the podcast. Hi, FateMagnet.
Hello.
Please introduce yourself. Please introduce yourself to everybody.
All right. I'll do like my regular intro that I always do like when I stream.
Mm-hmm.
It is I, FateMagnet. You could call me Fate or you could call me Magnet. But if you must call me Maggie. I'm just a simple streamer from the South Hemisphere, and I speak English most of the day because that's what I do, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I just like chill.
Yeah.
I don't like have any big plans, just like have a good time.
Yeah. So what brought you into VTubing in the first place?
I always wanted to like be a content creator since the era of, I'm gonna date myself, like pre the explosion of PewDiePie, when you had like a bunch of, like the scene was like very sparse in YouTube. There was not like a meta.
Right.
Like before like the gaming meta of YouTube hit.
Yeah.
I always wanted to like read scary stories or something like that. And that was like something I really wanted to do when I was younger.
Yeah.
But I didn't have money for a microphone.
Yeah.
And I was like, that always stay there, you know?
it never does leave, you know? That little childhood dream stays on. Sooner or later, I will be a professional baseball player. But, you know, it'll have to be
you just gotta keep practicing.
It'll have to be in the next world, I imagine, at this point. It's a little late to get get in shape to do that sort of thing. So when you did get started, was it easy for you to put everything together, or did it take a little while?
I would say it took longer than I expected. Like all the things in the world, like it seems easy from the outside, and then it's like, oh god, audio balancing, and like having like a representation of myself in this case, like a PNG tuber. I mean, I started with like a Vroid model that I made myself. It took months because I had no idea what I was doing.
You hear like, yeah, I just went in and got myself a Vroid model and everything was good. Nope. Sometimes it takes a little while to do something like that.
Yeah. Like mad respect for like everybody that like makes 3D models, 2D models, or anything, you know? Like mad respect. Damn.
I can't even make a 1D model at this point. I can't.
Just a line with colors.
Everything I do art comes with an F. That failure at this point of my life. So when you did get started, was it easy for you to get folks coming in and talking with them and chat, and was it easy for you to get along with them, or did you concentrate on playing the games first?
I weirdly enough, I didn't start like playing a lot of games because I had like a very potato computer. I mean, I started, for context, like oh my god, 3 years. I had just like my 3-year celebration, like in November.
Yeah, congratulations.
Last November. Thank you. And I started with like a computer that I had since high school, like, and you know, from the year of our Lord 2013. So I couldn't play like a lot of games, you know. So I started like mostly like I used to do like just chattings of like just ranting. I just talk like I remember I used to like pick up like 4 or 5 subjects during like the day and just started talking about stuff. And sometimes I'll get like some people like popping in and we will chat, we will just talk, trade stories. Yeah. It was always like very like chill and like low, like, oh, we're just like, you know, 4 people here or like 3 people here.
Yeah.
Sort of deal.
But it also gets you that kind of, you know, right sitting around the campfire type of thing where everybody kind of relaxes and lets the guard down a little bit. Yeah, that's good. And from there, have you been able to kind of build a few folks that are coming back time and again?
Yeah, I mean, some people like come and go. I remember like my regulars from like 3 years ago look a little different than the regulars from like, you know, last year or like this past couple of months. Because I remember when I started, like my public, like my regular 6 guys that I had in my chat, they were talking to me. It's like, yeah, I am in between jobs, or I'm like finishing my studies, or I am like nothing doing. And you know, for good, most of them are like, oh yo, I found a job. I have no time now. Oh, crazy. Or like, oh, I got engaged. I was like, oh, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
And I have no time. Oh,
no time. Well, wait till they get old like me, and then you'll have plenty of time.
It was pretty much like a deja vu sort of moment when because I used to work as a teacher, as a math and physics teacher. And when you're like, end of the year comes around and you see the last year of high school for a lot of kids, it's like, they grow up so fast.
yeah. And I had a great math and physics teacher back in the 1800s when I was in school, and and he was pretty strict. I mean, because one thing with math and physics, the answers are there. There isn't any judgment on the answers. Maybe judgment how you got there, but in math, 2 + 6 = 8. That's the way it is, and you can't argue that it's not. Yeah. But that I enjoy
a lot of lessons in life can help with math in the way of like one of my favorite math teachers that I had when I was growing up was he talked about how it gave structure to his life.
Oh, absolutely.
In a way that nothing else had.
Absolutely. Math, I really enjoyed those classes. I got up to calculus in high school, which I remembered none of. Do not ask me to solve for f of x. My brain starts hurting.
Those are the wrinkles in the brain for me, the muscles of the brain, some may say.
all smooth at this point. Nothing's gonna, like Teflon, nothing's gonna go through that part of the brain at this point. But I've got a grandson who really enjoys math, and he's 8 years old. He enjoys math. He's into some physics things like black holes. He can tell you everything about black holes.
Ooh.
I'm like, oh wow, okay. You're a smarty.
Just wait. I mean, fundamental forces of the universe. They're quite fascinating.
Wait, when he's 12, he's going to do my taxes. Somebody's got to get it right.
Someone got to do it.
That's right. I'll just tell him it's a game. It's a new game. Here, it's called Fix Papa's Income Taxes. Yeah, well,
Grandpa, we were doing their taxes wrong for 7 years. The IRS is gonna eat us up.
Yeah, I'll give him 5%. He won't know the difference. Later on, he'll say, "Grandpa pulled a fast one on me," and by then, I'll be in my 70s. I don't care.
I'll be too old to face repercussions.
That's right. What are you going to do to me now? Well, with your background, have you thought about, because there are people who actually do teaching and lessons online. Have you thought about doing that?
It was an idea that I had. I participated in an endeavor with like some classmates when I was like in my final years of education of like making available resources in Spanish for like teaching math and physics. Like it has like my like my real name and like my face is somewhere there, so I would not disclose like the name of that project.
Yeah,
but it was a thing that kind of happened, and it's like an idea that's still somewhere in there, but I am unsure, to be honest, if I would pursue it.
It's a niche thing. I mean, really, but it is one that a lot of people would be interested in. I'm sure. The folks who are interested in that will be very interested in it. that I'll tell you for sure. But the in general, what were the first games that you did eventually stream, and are they the same type you do now?
The first few games that I streamed were, if I remember correctly, Pokemon challenges, like ROM hacks, randomizers, or doing like a challenge runs or stuff like that in Pokemon.
Yeah.
And then I transitioned like through eras. Like there was a time when I like got into the Yakuza series.
Oh, yeah.
Incredible, impeccable series. Yeah. My goodness.
Yeah.
And then like the Monster Hunter era.
I'm going to go kill me some monsters.
Yeah. Now I'm like slowly like, circling around, like the last things I've been streaming are like either a little bit of Monster Hunter, I mean, it's been a few weeks now, or more Pokemon challenges.
Yeah,
and with the new Monster Hunter coming in February and more Yakuza coming also in February, it's like, damn.
Well, I saw the a little bit of the last Pokemon you did. Now, have you done the Nuzlocke yet?
Yes,
Did
I am
you
doing some Nuzlocke challenges. In like,
did you
I
win?
try to do one in like almost every Pokemon game.
Yeah.
A few I win, a few I lose tremendously because I don't have like the knowledge of the game in all the interactions.
Yeah. Well, it's just it sooner or later with something like that, it does come down to luck too. I mean, if you
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, if the first one you come across is the most common possible thing you could possibly get, it's not going to help you. But
Hmm.
have you?
Oh,
I've seen people try to do that with a randomizer and a
yeah.
Nuzlocke, and I'm
I
like,
did try and I failed spectacularly actually.
people don't realize just how randomizer these things get. So when you did
Hmm.
do the randomizer, was it just there was the Pokemon were the Pokemon randomized? Were the items randomized? Cities?
I have done Pokemon challenges of like location randomizer where every door takes you to a different location,
Ah,
like completely random in the map, and you try to finish the game like getting the gym badges because like how
yes.
just looking for like transition zones.
Yeah.
I did a Nuzlocke of that. I failed twice, and the last one I succeeded.
Oh, you did. You
Um,
got through.
yeah,
Oh, that's
I have
excellent
done
work.
like regular randomizer where like all the Pokemons are random,
Yeah.
and I think the farthest I got was like the Elite Four, and then I got completely washed over and over.
It, when you
It
come up
took
with the
so long to yeah, it takes so long to start because like you get like a Pokemon that has like Dragon Rage at the beginning, it's done. You know, you don't have 40 HP. It's over.
that's right.
It's like oh, you do a fixed amount of damage.
Yeah, you come you,
Oh,
you come up against a bug catcher, and he's got a you know he's got an Archeon or something.
yeah, my boy has a Dragonite.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
that's a.
Yeah. I'll,
Did your mom get you that Pokemon? That's crazy.
Did you get a discount on that one?
It's wild.
Nope, just a lucky roll. Okay, I'll go home
Hmm.
now.
Oh,
No,
time to die. Oh.
don't need to battle. You just take my money. Please don't kill me. I saw one time. I forget which YouTuber it was at the time. Was doing a a ROM hack,
Hmm.
and it was just it was so ridiculous to watch. I mean, it was funny, and then he got to this one area that should have been very. I mean, he had like level 8 in his,
Hmm.
but he was full, but it was level 8. And he got to one guy that should have been really easy to do, and they had level 40. he just
Oh god.
he just
Yep.
screamed because you can't back out of it at that point.
No.
So everybody
Hmm.
just died.
There's no running from trainers.
Yeah, he just shut the game off and never went back at that point.
Completely understandable.
That's like, oh man, how cheap can you get? He didn't have to
Hmm.
go though. He had to go like an extra way to get to him. So I
Hmm.
guess it's kind of his fault, but you certainly don't expect level 40 like in that particular area. So
Oh god.
what's the strangest hack you've had yet?
Excuse me, can you repeat the question?
What's the weirdest Pokemon ROM hack you've done?
Weirdest I have done. I think it will be either the location randomizer
Mm-hmm.
or like the current run that I'm doing, which is the too many types ROM hack that
Mm.
made by I think it goes by Alfarad, Jacob, that guy.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
This, there's just like so many interesting sentences you can say while reading those Pokemon types now.
That's right.
Like, oh yeah, it's a magic friend furry. Oh, I see, I see. Mm.
and and the Pokemon you think is one thing is actually another thing when you get it in here. Oh, good! I've
Yeah,
got a fire type. It's a fighting magical girl type. What?
yeah. Like, oh, that's a rock. No, no, no. It's an ancient type. Ah.
Ah, okay.
Or my favorite type is like crab. That's it. Crab.
Grab. Was it imaginary? There's all just folks. If you haven't seen this particular game, too many types. It literally is too many types.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen somebody put up a chart of them and what works against some, what works against others. There's no way to. People have got the regular Pokemon chart memorized, but there's no way.
Yeah, no way at all.
You've got thousands of combinations on that thing by the time you're done.
I must say though, it feels so fresh.
Not bad.
Like, yeah, it feels the same way that I felt when I was like, I don't know, like 9 years old or like 8 years old. And I was playing like Pokemon Crystal for the first time, and I didn't know what was happening.
Yeah, like that's the thing too with some of the older games. They didn't have like games now are doing expansions, additions to their games. Older games can't really do that. Like Pokemon, you don't really put an addition onto your Pokemon Red and Blue or whatever. I mean, you can't really do that. So when you play it, it's the same game over and over again. With the randomizers and the ROM hacks, you do get a chance to play them differently.
Yeah, it's like a new life to it, sort of deal.
So if you were going to do a randomizer, how would you do it?
Oh, if I would really like make one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think because like there's like I would like the idea of like an adaptable like randomizer because like a lot of randomizer are like, you get what you get when like things are random.
Right.
But basically something that the only thing that changes are the gym leaders on the gyms, but they like adapt, so to say, to I don't know. Let's go with like Pokemon Red.
So
like the first gym leader, like in Petersburg.
Yeah.
Like you could get anyone there. You can get someone in the Elite Four even there.
Oh,
but they are adapted to be, you don't have any badges? Okay, hold on. And they get like, grab only 2 Pokemon. So like, okay, let's go. It wouldn't be like in a way of like a challenge.
Yeah.
Because they will be like difficulty adjusted, will be so fresh in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
Like in a way of like in universe. Yeah. Because like, what do you do like in the Pokemon universe? Like if you're born in Saffron City,
right?
Like like the gym leader here is like level 30 something. I am fuck.
Yeah,
I will never start.
I better go back to. I better make my way down to the first level.
Yeah, better travel to Petersburg for like 3 weeks to start my journey. Yeah. Awesome.
Hope I don't actually run into any Pokemon on the way down there.
Mm-hmm.
That would be bad.
Yeah.
Get chased around by a Zigzagoon. So what is your favorite of the Pokemon games you played so far? Regular ones.
For the regular ones, I would say Emerald has like the nostalgia factor for me, like very heavily. It's one of the first one that I was like that I put in an emulator in my phone and I play like a lot in high school.
and yet you became a teacher.
Yeah.
There you go, folks. There's something to emulate right there.
Oh, I don't know if you want to like tell like the the kids that don't pay attention to become teachers. Or maybe that would scare them into like paying more attention.
when you're in class, when you were teaching, and if you saw somebody do that, you couldn't really do anything about it. Okay. Those who live in glass houses. But what did you think of the one that had the underground caverns and the I know that was kind of weird to me.
The underground caverns.
Yeah, there was one where you'd find areas. There was an area you could go underground and find all sorts of different types of Pokemon in different biomes, sort of thing. I forget.
I am unsure. I mean, I was like very into Pokemon like until like the Nintendo DS.
Yeah.
Which is like Platinum and Pearl, and then like sort of super dropped it because I didn't have the money for consoles.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if you played that one yet, but I've seen that one, and that was just weird to me watching people play that one. I mean, it almost became a dungeon crawler type of thing.
Huh.
And
wow, it could be Oh, it could be Mystery Dungeon then. It could be one of the Mystery Dungeon
It might be.
games.
It might be. It might be.
Yeah, yeah, they have like a different mechanic and they're like very interesting, but I never like finish any of them.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I grew up. My game growing up was on dungeon crawler type things. I mean, I had,
Hmm.
you know, my my computer getting out of high school was the Commodore 64. So it tells you how long that was. Yeah. Stop it, youngster. But it was for that time. It was pretty dang good. It was.
Hmm.
I mean, we were playing, Dungeons and Dragons and stuff on it. We were rocking it. Of course, until it got too hot and you had to shut it off. But we played
Uh,
the heck out of that thing. So
hmm.
to me, if I want to get back into a lot of things, it has to be some sort of RPG type thing because that was what a lot of games were back then.
Yeah.
So have you gotten into any RPGs at all?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Actually,
Mm.
I like with the sensation that was sweeping the nation. That was Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I could like check real quick. I have like a few. I mean, I'm modest. There you go, 606 hours in the game, and I have finished the game once.
You have
I have
almost
seen yeah, I have seen those credits one time, but
you
600 hours.
you have over you have 3/4 of a month continuous playing in that game,
Hmm. Yeah,
and you finished it one time.
yeah, exactly.
Well, that's one more than me. So you're you're infinitely ahead of where I am at this point. But it's when you get a good game like that, and it does take up so much of your time. It's
Mhm.
wonderful, but then sometimes once you get a little bit away from it, you're like, I don't know if I want to get back to it again. Um,
It feels like a commitment in sort of way, you know.
yeah, yeah. I unfortunately have this running thing with Stardew Valley where I have
Mm.
30 save files. Yeah, and
Oh.
if I get back into it, I'm not going to be doing any interviews.
Hmm.
It's going to take all the
Oh,
rest
I
of my
feel that.
time, and I won't go
I
to
feel
work
that.
either.
I
and
feel that. I
and
had every so often when I like get introduced to a new game,
yeah,
I am like I call it, it's like a crossroad where it's like I could really dedicate myself to this and it could be a very good experience, and I would like neglect everything else in my life. I don't know if it is worth it.
yes.
I remember I had that experience with Path of Exile,
Oh,
the first one,
yeah.
because I played like for a couple of hours, like basically like what would some may call like the tutorial or like and I got like a skill point and I opened the skill tree and like that spider web of like skills,
Yes.
and I think, oh, oh, no, I
Oh.
shouldn't.
Oh
Oh, I
no.
shouldn't do this.
Oh no.
Like, oh, the deep end of this pool is a little too deep.
That's right. And I've played a few games with the skill tree type of things, and the first time I really saw a skill tree was Diablo 1 and 2,
Hmm.
and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have no idea what I'm doing with this. I'm like, I'll just put a point here and a point there, and I'm like, oh, if I'd have put a point there, I would have had that. And then I just screw up and just go from there, and then I cheat.
Hmm.
And cheating is always good at that point. Um,
Yeah, very fair, very fair.
yes, but I still wasn't able to beat Diablo 2 with the archer. I just can't do it. It
Oh.
there's just nothing there to shoot with. After a while, he just comes up and squashes you, and that's about all there's you can do about it.
Hmm.
So if you have a game that you haven't played on stream yet, what would you like to bring in?
Hmm. I would like to bring in. I mean, I I've been looking at like games like Dragon's Dogma or stuff
Mm,
like that.
yeah.
I mean, being super honest, a lot of like the games that I find very interesting
Mm.
is because I watch a video essay that mentions them, and they're like, "Oh, hold on."
Yeah, 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 yeah. Well,
Like I
sometimes.
remember like a video essay that like a guy that goes by Jacob Geller made,
Hmm.
and like games that like hide their sequels basically.
Mm.
And Dragon's Dogma 2 is one of those games. and it's like, and I found like so interesting the concept in general. It's like, oh, I would love to play that on stream. And I look like the requirements at my computer, and it's like, oh, ooh.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. I feel that. I feel that. I tried to get back into the Fallout series, and I had played 1 and 2 back in the old days, and I got 3 to work, and I got New Vegas to work. I bought 4, but it just looked at me on the computer and said no. No, we don't even have a video card. You can't do this.
Yeah.
Like, okay. I actually think it's the audio that messed me up. But if I said, here's your computer that can run anything you want, what's the game that you're going to play online?
Oh, computer that can run anything I want.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna sound very stupid.
No, it's not gonna be stupid.
But it would be like I would like, if I could run whatever I want, I will rig it so I could play basically 2 games at once, like with the same inputs, and I will play, or maybe 3 games. I will play like basically like the amount of Monster Hunter games that I can with the same controller.
You can play.
In the same vein of like how some people like may like, yeah, and I play 4 Pokemon games at the same time.
That's right.
Screw that, you have turn based on that, buddy. Let's go real time combat.
Oh man, so you have one of them where one of your guys would be fighting a monster. The other 2 would just be jumping around, swinging at nothing.
You're just swinging at nothing, or like rolling,
running into the water and drowning. That type of stuff. That would actually be really cool. I hope you can do that soon.
Let's hope one day.
I want to see that when it happens. Have you got anything? I know you say you're pretty casual with it. But is there any big plans for you this year? Have you got any special events coming up for your channel?
I've been debating that idea because I've been doing this for like 3 years now, and like at the beginning, one of my first events was like a simple celebration of like, I've been doing this for 6 months, woo!
Yeah, well,
and then my events became like had like the goal to help me save money to pay for like my extra studies, because I got a computer science now degree.
Yes.
That I just finished. I mean, the classes for. I'm like in process of internships and that sort of deal.
Oh, congratulations with that.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, I have a math, physics, and computer science degree. I'm a nerd.
Yeah, I had a radio degree, so here I am.
And
59-year-old guy
with like lost the.
Yeah.
I sort of lost the goal of like, I don't need to like save extra money if I get like a regular day job.
Yeah.
So it'll be like most of like a funny haha moments. So I wouldn't say like have anything planned.
Yeah.
But I would like the idea of like celebrations in general.
Yeah.
Like it's like a fun thing, like to remember, or like put spice on the moments.
Yeah. What about collaborations? Are you able to do many of those, or have you been able to?
I do have like collaborations like fairly frequent. I pride myself into one thing that's like, I am a normal person. So and I say this with like all the tenderness you can have, but like there's some people on the internet that are not normal at all in the way of like socializing.
Yes, that's true everywhere.
Yeah, and just like, oh buddy. No, we can just talk. It's fine. We can just talk. No, it's okay. So I like end up like making a lot of friends, so like connections, and we like just have a good time.
Yeah, that's good. That's the way to do it. And as long as you're enjoying yourself, and it doesn't become a chore to do it. And it sounds like you've got it at just enough arm's reach away where you're still enjoying every time you come on, and it's not like, oh, I got to do this.
I feel it is a slope, like a slippery slope sort of deal, because I have seen it. I have seen like friends get like very popular and they put more on themselves, like in the streaming,
Yeah.
and they kind of like lose a few aspects of themselves
Right.
in the character that they're playing.
Right. And then it just becomes a chore and a rut.
Yeah, and then it's like, and then at the same time, because like it's emotional labor, I think is the term.
Hmm.
Like, how being a cashier or being like a server.
Hmm.
But the difference is that if you have like a regular day job and you have to smile like 6 hours a day or like 8 hours a day,
Right.
the moment like the apron is off and you're home, that's out. Like you don't keep that energy with you. Like that stayed in the door.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But
But
for
the moment, if you're streaming, the moment you like press end stream, you didn't move. You're still in your desk.
right, right. Yeah.
You don't have like a physical barrier to help you detach that energy, and like
No,
it stays with you in some ways.
that's good. That's good. And I hope you're able to keep that up and keep going because it sounds like you're having fun.
Hmm.
Yeah. Now, have you thought or have you done this where you've done a Spanish stream?
Yes, actually,
Mm.
I every so often, if I run into like another bilingual
Hmm.
person, I like doing like a cultural exchange
Hmm.
stream.
Yeah.
Well, we will like do a Duolingo in Spanish,
Hmm.
like me and them,
Right.
and they will do like Duolingo, whatever is their main language.
Mm.
Like it has happened in Swedish, it has happened in New Zealand and Finnish, I mean,
Hmm.
and it's happened in I think French
Mm.
and German was also a big one for a while.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
It's like very very nice and very interesting.
that is cool. I always wonder when I talk to folks who are Spanish speakers or native Spanish speakers
Mhm.
whether or not that we're missing out an audience um, of people potentially who have Spanish as a first language, um, coming in and having VTubers that they can understand from right from the get go, and not have to, pick up every third word like I would have to do with a Spanish speaking person.
Mm.
I mean, I don't know, but what I learned in Spanish was basically from Sesame Street when I was a kid. I mean, I can almost count to 20, and I can tell you where the door is. that's,
Mm.
that's about it.
Very
But
useful skill. Very useful skill though.
yes, yeah,
Don't look down on it.
Cerrado.
Ah, Cerrado.
There we go. I've used it up. Don't ask me to play
Mm.
Scrabble in Spanish. It's not going to work. um, but I don't know. I look at that and I think there's an opportunity there. If there's an audience to be cultured and brought in, something like that. I don't know what it would take to do it, but
Mm.
it does seem like it's out there. You have folks who are doing it in Japanese and Korean and um,
Mhm, mhm.
Indonesian and um, the different Filipino languages. Um,
Yeah,
so I don't know. Maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll see the rise of the Spanish speaking audience here soon.
could be, could be.
Yeah, and
I
then
mean, there's like a very strong like fan base of like Japanese VTuber is Spanish speaking people.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well,
So
they kind
they
of
are into the space.
yeah. And you just have to grab them now and pull them in. We're gonna have to bait that hook
Hmm.
somehow and get them in. I'm going back to my old radio marketing days here and looking for audiences. it's, I'm just gonna bring back nightmares when I go to bed tonight. Um, so so far it sounds like to me you're enjoying yourself a lot,
Hmm.
and you're not taking it too seriously. You're not taking yourself too seriously. Um, I don't see. I mean, have there been any downsides for you so far?
Um, I would say is I have very small experiences with this,
Mm.
which is like because I am a small VTuber content creator or whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the small like uh, grains of salt of like alienation that sometimes happen.
Oh.
That like some people like forget you're a person. Like that happened like 4 times with me in 3 years, which I
Oh.
will say is like a pretty good record.
Yeah.
of like okay, it's fine. Of like people that's like they treat you like very differently, or like as you are like a cartoon character in some way or form.
Right.
Not like on purpose, but like it's like a come on, entertain me, like dance for me or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are you doing? Like, buddy, I'm just a guy, or like I'm just a person here. And it's like weird because I see that happening like a lot with like the big content creators, and I cannot even imagine how much they get it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. When I was in radio, I never had that problem because no one listened. It was a lot easier. I didn't have to say my name because no one was writing it down anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get this to a situation where you get some, not only do you get a bigger audience, but I hear people worry about tending of losing the personal attachment to each individual person.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah, absolutely.
it gets. I'm not saying it's too big for enjoying yourself, but you can't be as personal with some of the folks.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so that would be a downside, but
Yeah.
but right now it sounds like everything's going up for you, and
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah,
hopefully,
like I always like wrestle with that idea
yeah,
when I have like periods of time like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go for growth, and I get like 20 something people in my chat,
well,
and then it's like, oh, it just moving a little too fast for me now.
whoa, hold on there, hold on there, hold on
Oh,
there.
hold on there. Let me put on my glasses.
I'm gonna have to kick a few people out here. Let me see.
Yeah, like, you need to chill, people. You need to chill.
Hold on there, hold
And
on
like,
there.
and I cannot even imagine like being like I don't even know how to refer to it. Like being the trap in like the success
Mm,
when there's like a storm of names, because like I'm an Iron Man house. I love Iron Man. I'm such a big fan.
oh yeah,
And I see her chat where I'm typing there for hypes and stuff like that, and it's just like a sea. It's like a river, like a waterfall. Maybe would be more appropriate.
I just see a gray haze.
It is insane.
Just so many letters and words going up the screen. I don't even know who's on there at this point.
Yeah. At that point, you're an audience member. Like how you think of like a concert or something. You know, you're like
Yeah.
somewhere from the back, like whoa, whoa.
Got the last
And there's
row.
no way, yeah. And there's no way of having like a conversation at that point. Like it's impossible.
Yeah. If they happen to look over at the right moment and catch it, but then you have to put in the same thing 6 or 7 times, and the mods kick you out.
Yeah, and there's like, come on, don't repeat your message. Like if it didn't happen, it didn't happen.
Well, folks, you got to check out, see what FateMagnet's got going on. We're going to have the links in the description for this particular interview, and I'm so glad to talk with you. We'll have to get you on again here pretty soon. Once you decide to let a few more people in. No, it's absolutely
a pleasure.
It's great to meet you, and thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.